I came up with a really cool idea today. What if the CD had vehicles and airplanes? Well, not airplanes. Let me explain. So pretty much I had the idea of this. What if CD had vehicles that were craftable and then those that would have to be found? So let me explain on this a little bit more. To make this so that it was balanced, the zombies, when you would run to a zombie, the car would take damage. And the car would have a certain amount of health to it, and after it took so much damage, it would have a higher chance of breaking down. If it broke down, you'd have to repair it with scrap, and also some vehicles would have more health than others, and those cars couldn't be crafted though. So yeah, I think that a good idea for it would be that if you had a residential car, which is what is the craftable one, you'd have to find parts and rare loot like the frame, an engine, or something like that. And for the military one, it would have to be dropped off. You see, my logic behind this is that I might not know the Crafting Dead storyline completely, but the way they set it up, it's sort of as if zombies invaded and then all the cars are EMP'd and they don't work. So there's only two ways of actually getting the cars. You either have to make them or get them from military drops, supply drops. And before you say, "What do you mean? Why would there be a truck at a supply drop?" It's actually been done by the military before. There's a military helicopter called C-17, which would have pretty much just these cables, and it would connect to armored vehicles to transport them overseas. And I feel that that would really make sense because the military would be manufacturing these to help with its troops, and that's why they would be sending in these supply drops. Now, about the Humvee. The Humvee would be pretty simple. It would have 5 seats, and then one in the middle where the turret would be. But there would be no turret because that would just be overpowered if there was a turret. Another thing that would be good to have so that it was balanced is that while you are shooting, you can shoot through the windows of the vehicle only while it's moving slowly, and you'd be able to speed up by just the sprint key, which would help out, and it would just be WAS, pretty simple, of steering. Well, pretty much. There's also another thing that's very important. The armored vehicle would have more health than the residential, so it would have a lower chance of breaking down. And they would only spawn occasionally at that supply drop because if they spawned more, then that would just mess things up. You don't want people to get too much. And I think when you would get in the car, you would be able to claim it like a base, and that's how it would stop people from having too many, because you could only have one vehicle. That would be a good thing, because it would stop the lag from all the entities. You see, there's a reason I don't want the car to not have lights, is because you would have to rely on night vision goggles when you're in the car to see, and that doesn't make sense. The car should have lights so that you can see in the dark, and you'd be able to turn them off and on. You'd be able to upgrade the car with scrap as well, so you'd be able to make like sort of a almost a ram or something like that for the front of the vehicle, something to reinforce it or something. It wouldn't be cheap though with scrap, it should cost a lot. Oh yes, and with another thing with the Humvee, it should stop bullets, and also all vehicles should be registered as a solid object. Zombies shouldn't be able to walk through them. Players shouldn't be able to walk through them. And none of these should have a turret. And also, there's another thing. Residential vehicles shouldn't have more health than the Humvee, but it should have more seats than the Humvee for a certain reason. So, let's say you have a group of survivors, your little clan with you, and you're driving down the road. Yeah, but you don't have enough room in that five-man Humvee. So you'd have to get like some sort of, I think, pickup truck or something, and you have maybe 6 to 7 people in the back of the truck. Well, I mean in the truck. And then finally, here's my final idea. What if CD had helicopters? helicopters would be a great addition to the CD because of several reasons. First of all, it wouldn't be overpowered as well because it would actually be pretty interesting. Giving players the ability to transport themselves a lot quicker and more efficiently is going to help out the game. It's going to help speed things up. And also, if we get it balanced enough, it should work proficiently. For example, the chopper can be shot down with relative gunfire. It probably would have about the health of, yeah, there would be two different kinds of residential. Well, there would be the residential and there would be the military. As such, health differs, and pretty much it wouldn't have anything insane. Probably would seat 5 people, actually maybe 6 people: pilot, passenger, passenger, and you'd be able to fire on. You'd be able to use your weapon from on top of the sniper rifle, but it should have like some sort of turbulence while you're up there, so you can't easily snipe people from up there. And that's my idea. I hope you guys enjoyed, and make sure to get your opinion out there so we can try and get this in the CD.